The tribal chief just made a move that has everyone talking, and honestly, I'm still trying to process what we just witnessed on Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns didn't just reveal his final 2 Survivor Series team members, he completely shattered everything we thought we knew about loyalty, strategy, and the power dynamics in WWE. And if you're not absolutely furious about who made the cut and who got left in the dust, then you weren't paying attention. But here's what's really getting under my skin, and I need you to tell me in the comments if I'm overreacting or if you're just as fired up as I am. The way this went down, the disrespect shown to certain superstars, and the absolute audacity of Roman Reigns to pull off what he did last night has me questioning everything about the Bloodline's future. We're diving deep into every single detail, every camera angle, every cryptic comment, and by the end of this video, you're going to understand why this moment is bigger than just Survivor Series. Before we break down this game-changing announcement, let me ask you this trivia question, and I want to see your answers in the comments. Who was the first superstar Roman Reigns announced for his Survivor Series team? Drop your answer below and let's see who's been paying attention. Now, let's get into the chaos that unfolded on Raw. The entire wrestling world has been speculating for weeks about who would complete Roman's team. We already knew about 2 members, but the identity of the 4th and 5th spots had everyone from Twitter to Reddit spinning theories that ranged from believable to absolutely insane. Some people thought we'd see a surprise return, others believed Roman would tap into NXT talent, and a few conspiracy theorists even suggested we might see a Forbidden Door situation. But what actually happened? It was somehow more shocking than any of us predicted. The segment opened with Paul Heyman doing what he does best, hyping up the tribal chief with that signature blend of arrogance and eloquence that only he can deliver. Heyman stood in the center of the ring, microphone in hand, and the arena was electric with anticipation. He started talking about legacy, about dominance, about how Roman Reigns doesn't just build teams, he builds dynasties. And then he said something that made everyone's ears perk up. The Tribal Chief Survivor Series team will not just win, they will send a message that will echo through WWE history for generations. That's when Roman's music hit, and the Tribal Chief made his entrance with that championship swagger that either makes you want to acknowledge him or absolutely despise him. There's no in between. He walked down that ramp like a man who had already won the match before it even happened, and you could feel the tension building with every step he took. Here's where things get interesting, and where my blood starts boiling. Roman grabbed the mic and started talking about what it means to be on his team. He didn't ask for volunteers, he didn't hold tryouts, he selected warriors who would fight for the honor of standing beside him. And the way he phrased it, with that condescending tone, made it clear that this wasn't about equality or partnership. This was about soldiers serving their general. We have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. The 4th member was revealed first, and I'm not going to lie, when that music hit, I jumped out of my seat. The crowd exploded, and social media immediately went into meltdown mode. It was someone who has history with Roman, someone who brings a completely different dynamic to the team, and someone whose inclusion raises about a million questions about trust, strategy, and whether this alliance can actually survive until Survivor Series, let alone during the match. But here's what really makes me angry about this choice. This particular superstar has been grinding, putting on incredible matches week after week, and deserves to be positioned as an equal, not as someone who has to bow down to Roman's authority. The whole presentation felt like Roman was doing them a favor by choosing them, rather than recognizing that he needs them just as much as they might benefit from being on his team. Now for the 5th and final member, and this is where WWE either pulled off a stroke of genius or made a decision that's going to blow up in everyone's faces. The arena went dark, and I mean pitch black. The tension was suffocating. People were chanting various names, hoping their favorites would get the call. And then, the entrance that played sent shockwaves through the building. Here's another trivia question for you, and this one's tough. In Roman Reigns' previous Survivor Series appearances, how many times has he been on the losing team? Put your answers in the comments, let's test that wrestling knowledge. The 5th member is someone who brings legitimate main event credibility to this team. We're talking about a multi-time champion, someone with Survivor Series experience, someone who has proven they can perform under the brightest lights. But here's the catch that has everyone divided. This person and Roman have history, and not the good kind. They've been rivals, they've been enemies, they've taken years off each other's careers. So the question everyone's asking is, can they actually coexist? Roman stood there in the ring, looking at his now complete team, and the dynamics were fascinating to watch. You could see the body language, the subtle glances, the positioning, everyone trying to figure out their place in this hierarchy. And Roman, being the master manipulator that he is, soaked it all in. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's created a powder keg of personalities and egos, and he's betting that he can control it long enough to achieve victory. But let me tell you what's really bothering me about this entire situation, and why I think WWE might be setting up something much bigger than just a Survivor Series match. Every single person on this team has their own agenda. The fourth member revealed has championship aspirations that directly conflict with Roman's current position. The fifth member has unfinished business that could explode at any moment. And Roman is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, but even the best chess players can be checkmated if they are not careful. The promo that followed the reveals was intense. Each team member got a moment on the mic, and you could feel the tension with every word spoken. There were thinly veiled threats disguised as promises of loyalty. There were comments about past betrayals met with smirks and side eyes. And Roman stood in the center of it all, arms crossed, that smug expression on his face, acting like he's the puppet master pulling all the strings. Here's what really grinds my gears though, and I need to know if you agree with me in the comments section. The way WWE is positioning this, it feels like Roman is being protected at all costs, even if it means potentially damaging the credibility of other superstars. These are main event level talents being positioned as subordinates to the tribal chief. And while I understand Roman is the top guy right now, does that mean everyone else has to look weaker by comparison? And let's talk about the superstars who didn't get selected. There are some absolute workhorses on that roster who deserved consideration. Guys who have been tearing it up, putting on match of the night performances, showing loyalty to the company, and they got passed over for this team. The disrespect is real, and I guarantee you there are some hurt feelings backstage right now. WWE just created potential storyline gold for future feuds, but at what cost to the morale of talent who feel overlooked? Let me hit you with one more trivia question before we wrap this up. What year did Roman Reigns first compete at Survivor Series as part of the Shield? Drop your answers below. Bonus points if you can name all three members of that original Shield team. The fallout from this announcement is going to be massive. We're already seeing reactions on social media from current superstars, legends weighing in with their opinions, and fans absolutely divided on whether this team can actually function as a cohesive unit. Some people think Roman's assembled an unstoppable force that will dominate Survivor Series. Others believe this team is destined to implode before they even make it to the pay-per-view. Here's my take, and you can agree or disagree in the comments, but I think Roman knows exactly what he's doing, and it's more devious than we realize. I don't think he built this team solely to win at Survivor Series. I think he's conducting an experiment to see who's truly loyal, who will crack under pressure, and who he needs to eliminate as a future threat. The tribal chief is always thinking 3 moves ahead, and everyone on his team might actually be a pawn in a much larger game. The closing shot of Raw said it all. All 5 members of Team Roman standing in that ring, arms raised in unity, but if you look closely at their faces, you could see the doubt, the calculation, the simmering resentment. This is a team built on a foundation of sand, and the first wave of conflict could wash the whole thing away. So here's what I need from you right now. Tell me in the comments, is Roman's team going to dominate Survivor Series, or are they going to self-destruct before they even get there? Who do you think will be the first to turn on the tribal chief? And most importantly, do you think WWE made the right choices for the 4th and 5th members, or did they drop the ball? The road to Survivor Series just got a whole lot more interesting, and Wrestling Zone Insider will be here to break down every twist, every turn, and every shocking moment along the way. This is the kind of storytelling that makes wrestling must-see television, and we're only just getting started.